Hello, my name is Yvan Baker. I am the Member of Provincial Parliament in Etobicoke Centre. Welcome to MPP Report here on Rogers Television. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed our previous two episodes where we had Donna Cansfield on as our special guest. And this week again, we have a very special guest with us who is going to share with us some updates about what's happening in our community. Our guest today is Tracie Napoli. Tracie is the co-chair of a group called Friends of Silver Creek, who has been doing a tremendous amount of advocacy in our community. Tracie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tracie, could you just talk a little bit about who Friends of Silver Creek are?
Yes. Friends of Silver Creek are a group of community residents from the Richmond Gardens area in Etobicoke, and we are an advocacy group, and we had to come together when we found out that Silver Creek School, which is in our community, would be potentially put up for sale and possibly displace two very important programs, Silver Creek Preschool, which provides services for children with special needs, and the Etobicoke Children's Centre, which provides services for children with mental health issues and autism.
And tell us a little bit more about Silver Creek Public School, just for those who aren't familiar, even those who live in Etobicoke,
right,
may not be familiar where it's located. Could you just share with us where it's located?
Sure. It's right at Islington and Eglinton. It's right behind the beautiful big park, Silver Creek Park. And it's been there for a very long time. And at one point, many years ago, when there weren't enough children to justify a public school there, the TDSB closed the school, which allowed Silver Creek Preschool and the Etobicoke Children's Centre to move in.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to some folks in the community recently, and they were asking me where Silver Creek Public School was, and I described it the way you did. And some of our viewers may know about Richview Library as well, as very close by.
Yes.
So could you tell us a little bit about why Silver Creek Public School is so important to the community?
It's really a part of our fabric. There is a lot of activity. I mean, I grew up in the area, and now I'm a resident there as well. And, you know, I remember going to Brownie Camp there, and there were other activities. I've gone to vote there. It's also something where we are very proud of the fact that the two programs that operate out of the school, which, you know, many people from all over the Greater Toronto area access these programs, come into our community to benefit from the services that are provided. So as community residents and you know, I'd spoken to other community members letting them know that no one on the group had any family members in these programs, but we valued the services and we wanted the families to have these services still available to them, and we just wanted to make sure that they weren't displaced and that we kept them in the community active. So tell us a little bit about the work that Friends of Silver Creek did. So when this all started, the two original co-chairs of the Friends of Silver Creek group, my predecessor Fred DeHaan and my current co-chair Janet Griffiths-Maximieux, went to a community meeting. So it's really important that you go to these community meetings so you find out what's happening in your community, and heard about the possibility of the school, the attached green space being sold, and then, you know, having the programs displaced. They got together, and there were other concerned community members there as well, and it really just kind of organically happened where everyone got together, started talking about what they wanted to do, but also discussing what kind of commitment and what form this group would take. So an official group was put together. Janet and Fred led the group originally and provided really great direction. And then I came on probably last May, and it was something where we all had different skills in order of how we wanted to approach the situation, but we had one clear goal. We wanted to save the school, save the green space, and ensure that both programs remained on site. Really, that was the drum we banged every day, every meeting, every time we called you, every time we called every other elected official, every time we communicated to the community so that everybody knew what we were doing. And we did it as well in partnership with both executive directors of both programs. So Susan and Eva were, always informed and always knew what we were doing.
Yeah, and rest assured, I know the other elected officials in the community heard the banging of the
Yes.
drum, I can tell you that. So for those viewers at home who aren't quite as familiar with the situation, you talked earlier about the fact that Silver Creek Public School is owned by the Toronto District School Board,
Yes.
That they were considering selling it. Can you just walk us through What happened after that? You talked about the people involved, you
Right.
talked about the advocacy, but what were the steps that happened after you discovered this?
It was really about getting all the information, disseminating it, and figuring out where you needed to go. And I think the thing with community advocacy is that sometimes, you know, you have a whole other life. You have a day job and you do very different things. So looking at legal documents and understanding the process of how the Toronto District School Board operates and how, you know, your office operates and the councillor office operates, these are things that you're not used to doing. So it was really getting the information. It was getting in touch with each arm that we needed to have a discussion with, saying, this is the information we have. Are we correct? Is this the next step? What will the next step be? What we also learned was it's really important to ask the right type of question and keep asking questions until you get the answers that you need. And then letting everybody know. It's much more powerful when you have a very concerted effort by, you know, a group of people, but then you need to also let the entire community know, and not just the community that lived in Richmond Gardens, the entire GTA, the parents of the program children that, you know, attended both Silver Creek Preschool and the Etobicoke Children's Center. Because as I said, these are families from all over the Toronto area, and we had great support from all over the city.
That's fantastic. So,
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about what the outcome has been of your advocacy.
After, you know, the 2 long years that we've been doing this, we are very happy to say that along with you and Minister of Education Mitzi Hunter and many others that were in attendance, there was an announcement made that the TDSB would be transferring the property to the province, and that the province would be able to manage everything, including the school, the green space, and that Silver Creek Preschool and the Etobicoke Children's Center will not be displaced, providing much needed relief for the families of the children that attend the programs. And we are very, very happy. And Yvon, we want to thank you. You have been a fantastic champion for
Tracie.
this. So we're very, very, very pleased.
Thank you. I have to tell you that that announcement was has been the highlight of my time in public office.
Yes.
So that's the reason I ran for MPP, was to help shape things like that. And I do think it's important that people at home know that this was truly a team effort.
Yes.
You spoke to it. Friends of Silver Creek, the Etobicoke Children's Center, Silver Creek Preschool, the community, TDSB, Government of Ontario, everyone came together to come to a solution.
You
around
can
this,
make
didn't they?
change happen, but
Yeah.
you have to be committed. You have to get everybody on the same page, and you have to get people active. And we had many people who thought, you know, oh, it's not going to happen. It's already done. Don't you know that? And I would much rather try and fail than not try at all. And that was the sentiment of everybody else around the table. So I think that this is a good example for our community and for all the other communities to say that you really need to stay on top of things, get involved, and actively communicate with all your elected representatives.
That's right. I mean, this is truly, I agree. I mean, this is truly a validation, I thought,
Yes.
of the importance of community advocacy. This really wouldn't have happened without you, without the Friends of Silver Creek, without all the others we talked about. So, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about what this means to you personally. Like, why are you involved?
Why
Why
am
did
I
you get involved in
involved?
this cause? And why is this important to you?
I'm part of the community. I love my neighborhood. I grew up there. I chose to also move into the community. And when I heard about what could potentially happen to these families, I just thought, you know, they have so much to deal with. Every day is a struggle. And the fact that they trusted us to advocate for them was wonderful. And the fact that we could do this for them was wonderful. And sometimes you just need to step in when you think something that's happening isn't right.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And I'm very happy about that.
That's great. That's great. One of the things, you know, the focus has been on protecting the services for children with special needs, of course, and that's what we've all been focused on. But could you tell our viewers at home a little bit about the green space,
Yes.
the importance of that, what happens there in the community?
Life is busy, and increasingly we have more and more people moving into very small areas. And I think part of even our mental health is having green spaces available where people can go and have quiet moments and walk their dogs and bring their kids. And the seniors in our community need some place to go as a meeting space, and not just a coffee shop on the corner, which is great as well, but it's really important to be out in these spaces. We worked really hard. So there's 2 baseball diamonds, one that was on the TDSB property and then one that is part of actually Silver Creek Park. And through all this, because things got muddled, we were there one night and we were being interviewed by a local media outlet, and these parents came, and there was a big baseball tournament happening, and they, out of their own volition, had gotten gravel and were setting up the baseball diamond because that was part of their community. This is where the kids play. This is where we all need to play, and we need to ensure that we keep our green space. There's never too much green space, no matter what anyone says.
Wonderful. Well, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes.
We only have about 30 seconds left, so in about 30 seconds, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers, or any advice that you'd like to give to those who are in the community and care about issues locally in their community? Really, I would say the biggest thing is speak to your elected officials, find out what's going on, and ask questions, because it's not always easy to understand the information that's coming out. Don't make assumptions. Assumptions don't get you anywhere. Clearly, in this case, if we would have listened to what the assumptions were, we would not have been at the outcome that we are so happy about. So that's it. That's wonderful advice, and thank you. Thank you, Tracie, for all your efforts and all your work, and it's led to a really successful outcome for the Silver Creek Public School, for the Etobicoke Children's Center, for the Silver Creek Preschool, and for the surrounding community. So thank you very much for your community advocacy. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from Tracie Napoli, one of the leaders of the community who's been active in advocating for Silver Creek Public School and for the children and the important services for children with special needs that are located there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you tune in again for our MPP updates here on Rogers Television.